There is power in privacy. Not everybody in your life needs to know every single detail of what's going on with you. The less that people know about your plan, the more space that you have to grow without interference. So let's talk about how to keep your personal life exactly that. Personal. Hello everyone, welcome back. I am glad that you are here. And before we continue, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you enjoy content like this, and check out the links in the description below because you will find things like my audio podcast, Highest and Best, my vlog channel, and my Instagram, and all of that good stuff. All right, if you want to learn how to stop telling people everything, then just keep on listening. Now, you may think that this is an ironic video for me to be making because the fact that I put a lot of my life on social media. However, there is so much that I choose not to show. Even on my vlog channel, you're still seeing a fraction of my life behind the scenes, and there's still a lot that goes on that I don't show on there. The first thing I want to talk about is the oversharing trap and why we do it. Now, the reason why humans often get the urge to share every single detail is because it releases a feel-good chemical in your body. But the problem is when you tell people certain things that are going on, you're giving them access to give you opinions, to give you judgment, to give you potentially their negative thoughts. Now, when I go through all of this, it's not that I'm telling you to not tell anyone anything. What I am saying is you should have your trusted people. You should have the people in your life that are in your inner circle that you feel confident and comfortable with about telling certain things. And then if you are like me, you may have your spouse who gets to hear everything, who gets to know all that's going on. I have projects and business things I have going on. The only person who knows is my husband. That is it. Then as things develop and evolve, as things progress, I then will tell a couple of other people in my inner circle. The last people that will be knowing about it is the public and being put on social media. The thing is not everybody in your life wants to see you win. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Then you also might have the people in your life who they may love you. They may be someone who's close to you. However, they may have insecurities of their own. And the harsh truth about this is that if you then go and say something to them about what you're doing or what you're planning, they may likely project those insecurities onto you. And then it may put something in the back of your mind that you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this, or what if it goes wrong? And you start to have these negative thoughts that were given to you by somebody else. Another example could be that if you are someone who overshares about things going on in your relationship. If you are having an argument with your significant other, you need to be very careful before you go and project and vent to somebody else, because you may forgive and forget what happens in that moment. However, they will likely always remember it. Now, I'm not saying don't go to your best friend when you need advice of something to do with your boyfriend or whatever it is. But if it's something that you won't remember a year from now or 5 years from now, typically you might want to keep that to yourself. So we know that oversharing may not be the best thing for us. So let's talk about selective sharing. Now, I believe that you can keep things private, but not secretive. I will tell people that I'm working on a project. However, I won't tell them what that project actually is. Before starting my podcast, Highest and Best, there was a couple of people who knew that I was thinking about starting one, but the only person who actually knew when I was launching it was my husband. Now, what I want you to do is the next times that you are going to share something with someone, or you may feel like you might be oversharing and you aren't sure if you should tell them, ask why. Why am I telling them about this certain thing? Whether it's a relationship issue, whether it's a project you're working on, whether it's a work opportunity, why do you feel the need to tell this person? Now, it could be for support, which is great. I think that you should be able to lean on your people for support in certain situations. Is it because you feel like you need the connection, and so you're sharing certain things? Or is it potentially that you feel like you need validation from an external source? Ask yourself that. If you are someone who feels like you overshare a lot, you might need to rein it in a little bit. Question why you're doing it before you actually do it. I believe that we should all find a balance between authenticity and discreetness. Now, what's crazy is that I began to learn this lesson of not to overshare back in high school. And I'll tell you about this story. I had said to a friend that I was going to apply at this gym down from our school. they had a job going, and it was when I wanted to be in the fitness industry, and so it was perfect for me. This girl goes and applies at the job after I tell her that I was going to, and gets the position. That was the last time that I told somebody that I was going to do something before I actually went and did it. I learned that lesson very quickly. It's safe to say that I do not overshare when it comes to work opportunities anymore. A situation that you may have been through is you're having an argument with your significant other, and then you go and vent to your friend all about how frustrated you are and what they did and blah, 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 blah. And then you go and fix things with your significant other. And then now you have to go back to your friend and say, oh yes, we're fine now, it's okay. They're gonna remember that. You may move past it. You don't need to tell everyone everything. So we know we shouldn't be oversharing. We know that we can have selective sharing instead. Have our personal life be personal, but also being authentic. Now let's talk about how to reclaim our privacy. One thing that I want you to do is next time that you are in a conversation and you feel like you want to overshare, or there's something that you want to get off your chest, or you want to tell your friend this certain thing that's going on about your significant other, about work, or about whatever it is, I want you to think before you speak. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You need to have your own boundaries about the things that you are talking about. So think before you go and just let it all out. Something that I feel often happens is that people are uncomfortable with silence. When there is a gap of quietness in a conversation, as humans, we feel the need to fill it. And so we just talk, and it's not. There is power in the silence. You don't need to share. You don't need to fill the gap. Get comfortable in the quiet. The next thing I want you to do is think about your audience. Who is in your inner circle? The people that are trusted. I feel like we have layers to our people. We have level 1, the people who we can trust wholeheartedly, genuine to the core. Then you may have your level 2 friends, and then you may have your acquaintances. And there are people that you will tell certain things to each level. And I feel like the more that you are self-aware with this certain thing, the easier it is for you to reclaim your privacy and be selective about the things that you're going to share. The next thing I want you to do is to try not to overshare amidst emotion. We often make worse decisions when our emotions are heightened. We say things we don't mean. We tell people things that we didn't actually want to tell them. It needs to stop. You have to process your feelings privately. Wait for the argument to lose its heat. Wait for the emotions to come back down to neutral. Process things yourself so that you're more likely to make a better decision on things like sharing with certain people. Just for a while, work on a need-to-know basis. You tell people what they need to know, and that is all. And the great thing is that you do not need to explain yourself. I have a few different things I am working on right now when it comes to business. And when people ask me, oh, what's going on with this and what's going on with that? I do not go and share all these certain things. Things are going great. I'm working on a few things right now. That's it. How are things with you? Turn around and ask them questions. You do not need to share everything that's going on. You may feel like it will help you connect with people better, but it's not the good option. A tool that you can use that will help you stop telling people everything is prayer and journaling. For me, a daily thing that I do is take my dog for a walk. It's nice and early, it's still dark outside, and I pray. And I literally will be talking out loud. If people actually walked past me, they'd probably think I'm crazy because I'm just having a conversation. And I talk to God about what's going on. I talk to him to help me get clarity on certain things. And he is who I go to help me get through certain things, to help me speak out certain things, to figure out what's going on and what's next and all of that. Turn to prayer. I love the phrase that worrying is worshiping the problem, but when you pray, you're figuring out a solution. And if you're someone who likes to write, journal. Every morning, or just when you feel like things that you want to share with other people are coming to your head, write them down instead. Just get them out and use that as your form of release rather than oversharing with other people. When me and my husband moved to Florida in 2020, it was in the first, 6 months of COVID. And when we told people that we were moving here, everyone, there were more people who told us not to do it than were actually excited for us and were happy for us. Most people were saying, "You're crazy. I can't believe you're gonna move during the COVID. You should just wait till it's over. How are you gonna pick up your lives and just move somewhere new without knowing anyone?" We did it, and it was one of the best decisions we ever made in our lives. For both of us, our lives have just gone up level. We are blessed, and we are so grateful that we made this move down here. And if we had listened to the people who told us to wait till COVID was over, we may have never moved. In hindsight, we shouldn't have told people that we were thinking of moving here. We should have just waited until the last minute and told people that we were moving here. Because really, we did not need their opinion on whether or not we should move, because we had made that decision for ourselves. Now, I do believe that it's a balance. Unfortunately, there are many people who do not have your best interest at heart. And so I do believe that there is a balance whereby you can be friendly and you can be talkative and you can connect with people on certain things, but they have to be people who you trust. They have to be people who are genuine, that want the best for you. And whatever you do not let other people influence how you want to live, what you want to do with your life. So take some of this advice, start implementing, and stop telling people everything. All right, I would love to know what your one takeaway is from this video and how you plan to implement and stop telling people everything in your life. If you enjoyed this video, then you will like this one next. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.